Cleveland County. Welcome back to Cleveland County Kitchen. I'm Debra Blanton, and I'm here today with the Mauneys. I know you've heard of Jenkins Livermush. We're highlighting Livermush for the month of February. I have Harry here, who's third generation. Jay here is fourth generation, which means there were two generations before. Right. I believe it was your grandfather, Jenkins, that started this entire business, and it has really changed over the years. So Harry, if you want to address that, about the heritage and all that.
Okay, yeah, my grandfather started in 1933, and when he started, he just used an iron pot that he built a fire under. He put the pork liver and the pork jowl that went into it, and he'd make the product, and then he would take it in his car and take it closely western North Carolina area, up near Morganton, Marion, Hickory, up that way. And he would leave these dish pans, which had around 25 or 30 pounds in them. And then the next week he'd go back, pick up his dish pan and take them more. And that's how we got started. It was during the Depression, 1933 is when he started. And he ran over there. He and his brother had a general store across the road here from the plant. And when the Depression came, I guess people didn't have money, but everybody, when they killed a hog, they made Livermush.
Well, so, sure. And you used everything but the squeal, and that was
right,
part, because we're going to be talking about what's in the Livermush.
Right, yeah, and that's the way it got started, and there were 4 families here within probably 8-mile radius that when the Depression came, made Livermush and made a living off of it and raised, their families.
And back then, Livermush was almost like a staple.
Oh yeah, everybody when they killed a hog in this area made Livermush.
And I guess you could eat it breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You could fry it or you can eat it. I mean, it's fully cooked product, so you can eat it just like a bologna or
exactly. And I think that's just a wonderful thing. You could slice it and eat it cold, right? Well, who knew that?
Fully cooked.
Yeah.
And it's good to put in the fry pan and fry it and brown it or put it in the microwave.
Right. Oh, well, great. Well, Jay, I want you to tell the viewers what's in Livermush. I'm sure you know.
Liver.
Well, what kind of liver? Whose liver?
Pork liver.
Well, there you go. Pork liver, okay. And anything else from the hog?
Pork jowls.
And jowls. And that's these cheeky things right here. All right.
And the liver, when you call it Livermush, liver pudding, you have to put 30% liver in it of your finished product.
And there you go.
So if you make a 600-pound batch, then you have to put 180 pounds of liver. And then your jowl meat, which has the gelatin in it and the fat that makes it turn loose. If you didn't, it'd just be so gummy you wouldn't turn loose, you couldn't slice it. So that's if you have your pork liver and then your pork jowls. And then you have your seasonings, which is your peppers and sage.
Which is a secret recipe. I think that is the recipe is secret.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we have that. My grandfather, I've got it at home, the recipe.
Oh my goodness! With. Yeah, great.
And then we put the cornmeal in, but before that, it's put in a pot and it's cooked for about 4 hours, and then it's taken up and ground. Put back in the pot and boiled, and then that's when you put your ingredients. Seasonings and the cornmeal, and you cook it for about 20 minutes. And when you take it out, it's around 200 degrees.
And then does it come out like in a tube?
No, what we do, we have these 10-pound trays that we put it in.
All right.
And then when we cut it, we have a cutter that cuts it into 10 individual pounds. And then it goes through a vacuum machine
and wraps it up.
Completely vacuum.
Right. Well, we'll be showing you a picture of the outside here in just a little bit. But we are not able to go in because it is a food processing plant. USDA regulations. So we're going to have to just kind of get the picture of all this from what you all tell us. So, and I'm sorry, you started what in
1933?
1933. All right. Now I'm also curious, Jay. where the cornmeal comes from. Do you make your own cornmeal here?
No, we buy from a person that we've done business with for years.
King Milling Company.
Yeah, King Milling Company.
Okay.
And Lakeside Mill.
Yeah, Lakeside.
Lakeside up in Spindale.
Oh, really? So it is a local,
It is a local
product.
Uh-huh.
Probably. And so, what about the hog livers?
It comes, we buy those from Smithfield Packing.
Okay.
We get it from the pork company down in Warsaw. And they come in like 50, 60 pound boxes already packed, as well as pork jugs.
Okay. Now, are those frozen?
Frozen, yeah.
They are frozen.
They come in frozen.
Okay. Well, I was down east last weekend, and Tar Heel is where the big Smithfield plant
Yeah,
is.
a lot of those livers come out of there for you.
Well, and I want to tell you, they process 36,000 hogs a day. A day
Big operation.
at Smithfield. My word, who knew? So probably half of that product is made into Livermush, right?
Yeah, a lot of the pork's never going liver.
So, well, I think this has just been a wonderful conversation about Livermush, which, as we've just said, is a staple. And we hope that everybody listening to this, they really kind of knew what was in it anyway, and that won't deter them from eating any more Livermush.
Everything's USDA inspected.
Right.
And then we have an inspector here at our plant every day.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, he comes every day.
Well, that's wonderful, guys. Listen, thank you all so much
Yeah,
for
thank
this
you for coming out.
informative program. Absolutely. And remember, they take care of the rest of the hog, but the squeal, and we can all say, squeal!
Spring is in the air.
The Southern Spring Home and Garden Show returns with glorious gardens, stylish designer rooms, and everything for your home. Meet American pickers Frank Fritz. Learn from top chefs. Have fun with flower expert Jay Schwanke. Enjoy great shopping, from pottery to plants to gadgets and gifts. It's Charlotte's trusted marketplace for everything you call home. February 24 through 26, and again March 3rd through the 5th at the Park Expo.
I chose to come back because I had 4 children, a wife. I never completed high school, had to quit my senior year to go to work. Got laid off, didn't have too many options, and seemed like a good idea at the time. I came back and got my GED because I figured that was be more of a fast track to a career, and it was. If you've never thought about it, just think about it. Go get your GED. Just go learn. Just go learn.
Welcome back, Cleveland County. We're in the studio. This is the second part of our 3-part show. And I'm here again today with Nancy Abasiekong, who is the Family and Consumer Sciences Extension Agent for Cleveland County. And when I told Nancy we were doing Livermush, she kind of looked a little askance. However, we're going to learn a whole lot about Livermush today. So, do you want to start, Nancy?
Yes, Deborah, thank you. And I thought, well, when we're talking about healthy eating, Livermush is not what comes to mind first, but I've learned a lot about Livermush in my researching and know that it is a Southern favorite, a staple. And in our area, it's really an economic contributor also.
With our Livermush
With our
Festival
Livermush
downtown?
Festival,
Absolutely.
That's right. And other regions, there is at least another Livermush Festival at a different time of the year, in Marion.
Marion, North
also,
Carolina.
yes.
Oh, well,
So
okay.
Livermush and used to be much more common here in North Carolina or in other southern states than it is now, but it is still a cultural favorite and one of those foods that we would eat in moderation. So it would be something on par, I'd say, with bacon or sausage.
Oh, okay,
that
certainly.
type of food. We don't eat it every day.
Right.
We don't eat a lot of it. A serving size on the package, the nutrition facts label shows a serving as 1 ounce.
Okay.
So we can control some of those things and then enjoy it along with some other foods.
Well, first of all, Nancy, what nutrients are in liver mush?
Liver mush does have some nutrients for us, so it can be part of a healthy protein source as far as nutrients. Things like iron, zinc, some of the B vitamins are all found in liver mush, but it also is high in cholesterol. So for that reason, just like other organ meats would be, so that's not unique to liver mush.
So
but
we
organ-
actually are using the liver of a pig.
That's right.
Of a pig.
Right.
Plus probably some other tissues
Right, we're
in the
using
hog.
other hog meat or pork. It could be, often it will be a fatty type of pork, something from the head, often. And you can tell if you want to see what is in the liver mush. There were some differences in looking at brands as I was again researching.
Okay.
So if you care to know, then the ingredient list is always listed again on the nutrition facts label. And
On the package of the liver
itself.
mush.
Right, on the package.
Well,
So it will tell you the serving size, how many servings you get out of that package, whether it's a 1 pound or a 2 pound package. And then it will tell you the calories, the percentage of fat, how many of those calories are from fat. It will break down to saturated fat. And liver mush, surprisingly, had a fairly low saturated fat level, but cholesterol is where it was high. And then you can
there
control
again,
for
that's
sodium.
because it's from the liver.
Right, that's right, from the liver. Now, what we recommend for because this would be a protein, if you're looking at the my
Yes,
plate.
yes.
And what we know now is more healthy eating is to get protein from other sources in addition to animal sources.
Right.
We'll limit that and we'll do plant-based protein, beans and peas and other legumes in addition to some other types of things, peanut butter or nuts and seeds.
Well, now, something that I learned in our discussion before we started shooting this was that the liver mush is cooked. What we buy in the store is already cooked. It's and it comes from somewhere. The other ingredients are like pork or the liver and other parts of the hog. Cornmeal, am I correct?
Cornmeal, yes.
Cornmeal.
And there is our mush portion.
Okay.
Some recipes also have flour. Like you might do if you're doing cornbread, you might see a combination of cornmeal and flour.
Right.
But cornmeal is the staple part, and they won't all have flour.
Okay.
But they will all have the liver, pig or hog liver, other pork parts,
Right.
and then cornmeal, seasoning, salt and pepper to taste. So there you can, the various brands will have different sodium levels. So if you're watching sodium, you can be aware of that.
That's important.
And pepper, red pepper, and some other sage, and some other seasonings that might be unique to different brands. And liver mush at one time was made at home. So you can find recipes, at home, or for us to make at home if you'd like.
Right.
But we don't have to do that. We can certainly purchase delicious liver mush, in the grocery store. And we would also certainly keep it refrigerated.
Once we buy it.
Once you buy it. And it will be in a refrigerated section of the store.
Yes, it is. And I guess that's why I always thought it wasn't fully cooked.
Right, but it would be similar to like bologna or hot dogs or that type of thing.
Sure.
So we still often cook it. And a softer product would be liver pudding, that is not what we're talking about today, but that is, you could spread that on crackers, and you could
Oh,
also
of
spread
course.
liver mush on crackers if you
Right.
chose to do that.
With a little mustard.
A little mustard, other condiments maybe, something to make it tasty.
Absolutely.
And it can be prepared like a burger, you know, lettuce, tomato, maybe onion on there for that, or scrambled in with eggs for breakfast,
Sure.
or just fried and eaten, you know, with a biscuit on a biscuit. And if you've gone to the Livermush Festival, for our viewers,
Of course.
they have seen, you know, the Livermush contest for
Right.
different ways that it can be prepared.
Right.
And we'll be looking for something to put on our fact sheet too. And of course, our chef will have a good recipe for us.
Oh, yes,
that we're
absolutely.
looking forward to tasting.
Well, and of course, I did ask you, how does it come in the brick? So once it's cooked, then it goes into this form, this mold.
A mold, that's right. It's put into a mold, a brick mold, and leveled off. The video that I saw on it looked like a trowel, you know, something that would make it
Oh,
smooth.
a trowel,
A
yes,
trowel that you might,
yes.
in doing mortar for bricks.
In other words, it goes into the mold and then they smooth it off.
That's
And
right.
then they refrigerate it.
Right, to chill.
And
then
to-
it's
to
packaged
get that-
to
to get
firm.
the
It
shape.
firms. And of course, the cornmeal gives it its firmness.
of
Helps it to
course.
take shape.
Well, Nancy, thank you so much. You have really brought Livermush to the forefront, which was our idea for this whole month of February. So stay tuned. We will be in the kitchen with a famous chef. Stay tuned.
History books have many things in common. None omit the American Revolution, the Constitution, the story of slavery, but most will, to a degree, omit or ignore the story of religion in our lives. I'm Phil Smith, and I'm the host of a new show on C19 TV, which we call Keeping the Faith. Join my guest and I as we reconsider the role that religion plays here in Cleveland County, as well as throughout America, here on Keeping the Faith. See you soon.
Here in Cleveland County, many children struggle to develop due to the lack of guidance and shortage of positive role models. At the Boys and Girls Club, we make it our team's mission to aid your child in becoming a better student and, more importantly, a better person with a brighter future.
When your child comes to the club, you can be assured they are being guided in a manner that is beneficial to the growth as an adult that is visible in their lives. Please consider giving your child the opportunity to be the absolute best they can possibly be.
Please support your local Boys and Girls Club today.
Welcome back, Cleveland County. Well, we're in this kitchen right now, a Cooperative Extension's kitchen, with Mayor Scott Neilser, Mayor of Kings Mountain, who is the Livermush aficionado of Cleveland County, as you have won multiple awards cooking with Livermush.
Well, thank you, Deborah. I appreciate being invited, and I really have enjoyed it. I'm really not much of a cook, but I'm a very big advocate for Livermush, and I've been a 3-time champion of the Livermush recipe contest, and like to really spread the word about how good Livermush is.
And it's a Cleveland County thing, almost.
And see, my motto is Livermush, not just for breakfast anymore.
And you're going to prove that today.
That's exactly.
We have 3 recipes: tortilla chips, ravioli, and fajitas.
Right.
So let's get started.
Sounds good. Well, we're going to start out with the Livermush tortilla chips, and what you need to do is you need to slice your Livermush about 1/8 of an inch thick, and I would recommend that you put it in a really good cold place, maybe in the freezer for a little while, and that makes it a little easier to slice. So you slice your Livermush just a little bit on about 1/8 of an inch, lay it on a baking sheet, and then you put it in an oven for 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. But you will know when they're ready because they will shake in the pan and they'll be ready to
Like
to
right
eat.
now, they are a little bit, but
Yeah,
right.
they really won't. So let's put this in the oven and we'll get the finished product out toward the end of our segment. All right.
Okay, what's next?
All right, next recipe is going to be Livermush fajitas. And this won first place probably back in 1998. And I remember Donna Brooks doing this, taste testing and all that. But I like to do things fairly colorful, so I've used both red, green, yellow, and golden peppers. And I have chopped them up right here. And then also you take your Livermush and cube it. So you take it like this.
Let's move this so we can see that
lay it down.
really good.
And then what I do is I probably cut it about 4 times.
Across
the loaf, and 3 times this way to make the cubes.
Okay.
So it goes into our pan. And voila, the secret of being in television where you've had a little bit of time to do things a little ahead of time. And what you want to do is you want to get your Livermush very crisp. And I don't even put any oil in it. I just let it sit there and cook and move it around to get it really good and crisp, because you want that texture inside your fajitas.
Oh no, it's working. Forget it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. My bad.
Can you edit that?
Yeah. We're good.
Sounds good. So you go ahead and you get this brown and get it good and crispy. And then you take your colorful peppers and you put it in a pan and you cook it down like this, along with 1 onion that's chopped up.
Right.
So here we go.
The onion right here.
Right there. And then you add your crispy Livermush in with that and stir that around really good and get everything nice and incorporated.
Okay.
And then take your favorite fajita mix. All you have to do is go to the store.
Perfect.
It's very easy. And you take it and you mix it in.
Because that has all the spices and seasonings that you're going to want.
Put it in like that.
Okay.
And then you'll add a 1/4 cup of water to get this incorporated in. So that will move around in the sauce.
And we're going to be heating that and cooking that. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. And I got my heat down just a bit low for that, but we can turn it up. But this is a really good way to substitute your meats of beef or chicken for Livermush.
Sure.
And it just gives you that little bit of more spice that Livermush can actually add to the dish.
And you'd cook this down for approximately how many minutes?
Well, just get it nice and incorporated and get you a really, really nice sauce. And of course you want it hot enough to where when you serve it, it's going to be at a great temperature for eating.
Of course, all right.
So once this is all incorporated, you come over for your flour tortilla shell. And you just make your nice spooned mixture.
And that would be what, almost like a half a cup?
Yeah, something like that, a little more than that.
Okay.
And of course, I've always gone in from the bottom and then turned it over this way to make your flour tortilla.
Oh, sure.
And there you go. You have your Livermush fajitas.
And it's done.
It's done.
That's a dish.
All ready to go.
All right.
So we will lay that here in the front.
Okay.
And then my next favorite recipe is my Livermush ravioli. And this is an interesting recipe because all you have to do is go to the store and you can find wonton wrappers, which gives you these little small pastry sheets like this. So this is a fairly easy thing to do, in which this time you cut it in larger blocks. And we can move this onion out of the way. And so I end up cutting that into a triangle.
Okay.
So the most important thing about making a ravioli is that you want to wet 2 sides of the wonton wrapper.
All right. That's so when you fold it over, it'll stick.
Exactly.
Okay.
So then you put your little quarter thing there and fold it over. And so it will stick to itself.
Okay.
Now you can
looks just like it.
Yeah. And so you can take your, and make sure you press out as much air as you possibly can. And I like to just sort of fold the corners over. And that's my little Livermush ravioli, of which I've done right here.
Okay.
I've done several here.
Good.
And you place it in boiling water and cook it just like you would do spaghetti.
Of course. Sure.
So here is the finished product right here. As we'll dish it out of we have cooked it.
And excuse me, you leave those in the water for how long?
Well, just to boil it till it's nice and tender, which doesn't take very long because these raviolis are very thin. It takes all the work out of it being able to, have the pastry and the
So in other words,
flour piece very small.
You're cooking the pastry and
Yes.
heating up the Livermush
Exactly.
because Livermush is already cooked when you buy it.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Which is really great. So this is also a very healthy thing for you that you're actually sort of just warming up and heating it up and making sure that it's, everything's, good for that. But
Right.
Livermush is such a great thing, and you can use your favorite sauce, of which we're going to use a Newman's Own,
Well,
which is one of my
that's
favorites.
fine. Yes.
I think they've got a great mantra because all their profits go to charity.
Thank you for telling our audience that. Yes,
I like
they might
that.
be interested in that.
Another thing you might want to do is use your Alfredo sauce. A cheese sauce is very good on Livermush.
Mm-hmm.
And so all you do is you can heat it up, but we'll pour this over top of our raviolis.
Uh-huh.
And there you go. You've got Livermush ravioli for the night.
Well, perfect.
Now,
Well,
I think it's time to see how our tortilla chips turn out.
I think we need to.
And let me get a hot mat. It's probably hot.
Well,
Well, for the
we could say we did.
how about a flour?
I love it. I love it. It looks like a hot pad.
There you go.
All right.
And here,
And let's shake them. There we go. And they sound like
how
chips.
they turn out. Mm-hmm. And so then this goes on the plate or the platter, of which I prepared a caramelized onion and balsamic vinegar dip for that. Got an interesting story about that. I had my family ask me, and I think they were trying to make sure that I had something really easy to bring for our Christmas potluck supper. And so they said, please bring chips and dip. So I ended up bringing my Livermush tortilla chips to this, and actually had a family member absolutely loved it. He loved it so much that I almost asked him for an investment to get into the business of making this.
And bag these up and sell them on the street, Scott.
That's right.
Sell them in Kings Mountain.
But what we did is I did a caramelized onion and balsamic vinegar dip for it, and he absolutely loved it. So it's really nice, and again, it is gluten-free, which makes it a sort of a healthy snack.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's high in iron with the liver.
With the liver.
With the liver.
Right.
So, Deborah, thank you so much for having me.
Well, Scott, listen, you are more than welcome. Thank you, too, for coming and being on the show.
Go Livermush.
Thank you again, Cleveland County, for watching. And we have a little surprise to end our show. We are going to be incorporating some wines with Livermush. These wines are the grapes are locally grown, locally made wine from the Owl's Eye. So we are trying a red wine with the fajitas. It's our Barn Owl Red, and we are trying a Chardonnay with our tortilla chips and the ravioli. And thank you, Cleveland County, for watching. These are all easy dishes, so just get ready, buy Livermush, and cook.